So check this out. How many times have you gone on a dating app and when you get to a woman's profile, you see the following words: I'm looking for friendship. I've actually pulled up a few women's profiles here, and so I'll scroll through a couple of these. So one woman here says, a friendship should be established first as well as intentions made clear. Another woman lists that she's looking for friendship. Another woman here says, I'm looking for friendship and a serious relationship. And then there's another woman here that says, looking for chatting, friendship, something casual. Why do women say this? You're probably going crazy thinking, if a woman's on a dating app, why would she go on there saying she's looking for friendship? Well, that's what we're going to decipher in today's Introvert Dating Success episode that I call Deciphering Womanese.
It's the Introvert Dating Success Podcast, the show for introverted men that's all about learning how to attract beautiful women and still get your precious alone time. And now, here's your host, dating coach and fellow introvert, Harry Wilmington.
Here's how this works, guy. Basically, for those of you that aren't familiar with Doc Love's work or familiarized with jargon in general in the dating advice world, womanese is a term that means things that women say that actually mean other things. And it's important as a guy to be able to translate womanese into what it actually means, because otherwise you will do the mistake that most guys make, which is taking things literally, meaning you're hearing the words that women are saying and thinking that it means those exact things or those exact actions or requests, and that's not typically what it means at all. So we're going to talk today in particular about this thing of women going on dating apps and saying things like, I'm looking for a friendship. I want to establish a friendship first. Now, as a guy, that is frustrating because you know in your own life with female friends of yours that you've been quote unquote friends with, let's be honest, guy, for a lot of those female friendships, you were thinking that if you made it a friendship first, she'd be able to see what a great guy you are. She'd get to know you a lot more because she wouldn't feel like there's this looming threat of a relationship. But you were hoping over time, as she got to know you, that she'd start to realize in her head, oh my God, this friend of mine is so great. And then, as you've been through enough experiences, you realize more often than not, that is not going to happen. Most women you become friends with are going to just stay your friend, right? So why is it then that women are going on dating apps requesting a friendship? Well, this is where we go into deciphering the womanese that's behind this statement, okay? So I need you to get out of the realm of thinking about dating as if you're a guy and think about it from the perspective of a woman, which is very important to always do anyway, because it'll get you a lot farther in the dating game if you know or can guess at what's going on in their heads, all right? So picture a woman's dating life, right? So women have, on average, a decent amount of offers coming in. Like a very highly attractive woman is regularly getting DMs in her messages and is getting hit up and is getting oogled at in public and all this other stuff, right? So even with a huge amount of guys coming towards her, she's still going to be very picky about who she decides to actually go on a date with, all right? So she picks a guy that she's like, this guy looks pretty decent and he's giving me some good conversational rapport, so we're going to go on a date, all right? Here's what typically happens with most men that women try to date, is that they go on that first date with the guy. They have a really, really good time. It's probably one of the best dates she's ever been on, and she's starting to feel a connection build. All right, but notice what I said. She's starting to feel a connection build, meaning she's seeing potential in this person eventually, maybe somewhere down the line, being somebody that she can consider getting with in a serious manner, all right? The problem is, and I've said this on the show before, is that for men, usually by date 1 or 2 or 3, and you know this, if the date's gone well, if you in your head has had a good conversation, maybe you got to kiss her, or maybe she even wouldn't hook up with you on those first couple of dates, then in your head, you've already made a decision about this woman, which is, I'm having a good time with her, sex is hot, dates are hot, you know what? I'm gonna cut out all the other BS and I'm gonna just focus exclusively on her. So then what happens? You start calling her more, you start texting her more, you start trying to ask for more for time. You start trying to get her out on multiple dates during the week. In essence, you are trying to now galvanize all of her time because you're thinking, I feel so great about this person. And then what happens is you're projecting out there as if to say, because I already have these strong feelings for this woman, then she must have them for me because she's saying yes to dates, she's showing up on time, she's, we're hooking up. So clearly, if all these signs indicate to me that we're at a very serious level, and since that's what I'm feeling as these actions are being done, then that must also be what the woman is feeling. But what do I tell you on this show time and time again? On average, it takes a woman 2 to 3 months to solidify her feelings for you. And the problem a lot of women have is that they're thinking, okay, I'm gonna just let this thing unfold naturally. And that means I'm gonna go on a date with him. I'm gonna have time on that date for that 1 or 2 hours that we're on that first date to really analyze him, maybe hear about him and get to know him a little bit better. On the second date, I'll get to see how he plans that out. I'll get to start looking for things like consistency. Is he consistent in the way he treated me on the first date, as well as the second date, as well as the third date? Can I trust him? Am I able to hear stories from him that seem to line up with his personality and who he is? Is he telling stories about his family? Am I getting to hear about his job and see how excited he is about that? How is he treating me on these dates on a consistent basis? Are we constantly having fun? Like, these are the things that women need a bit of time to be able to see from you before they're able to just completely jump in, because there's a lot more at risk for them. Stereotypically, men are a lot stronger than women, and so she has to look out for things like, can she trust herself to be with you alone? If you guys get into a fight, are you going to be able to sit down and calmly talk about stuff, or are you going to freak out on her and try to beat her up, or are you going to try to emotionally manipulate her, or try to take away from her friends, or a plethora of other things that results in women needing to take a longer time to get to know you. But what happens is that, again, men are showing their cards early on, and they're doing all these things as if they're already in relationship mode, which is now causing the woman to feel pressure after like 2 or 3 dates to make this into a relationship or to choose you when she's not there yet, all right? And so that journey is very important for women to have. But here's the problem, is that you're thinking, okay, well, Harry, if that's happening and I'm doing things too soon, why don't women just tell me that? And again, we have to go back to, what is the woman's experience dating? If a woman just slightly says, I'm not interested to a guy, they get yelled at, they get called out of their name, or they could be, again, threatened with violence or a plethora of other things, all right? So it's very hard for a woman to feel like she can actually come to you and say, hey, you know what? I'm enjoying getting to know you, but this needs to slow down a bit because it's date 3. You're already bringing me flowers. This is our third date this week. It'd be nice to try to stretch this out. And to be honest, the stuff I'm saying to you right now, if a woman's thinking about it, it doesn't make sense. Because one part of her is thinking, well, I really like the guy and I am having a good time with him. I shouldn't be bothered by him wanting to text me all the time or call me all the time or see me all the time, because if we like each other, that should be the norm, right? But the uncomfortableness part comes in the fact that by you not giving her time, by you trying to schedule a date every day instead of giving her going on a good date, giving her a week to miss you, and also give her a week to think about you and think about how she felt in that date and anticipate seeing you again and building up attraction and affection for you naturally, she's feeling that it's very, very rushed and she can't comprehend why it is that she's starting to lose interest. All she knows is that she really liked you and she was building a rapport with you and getting to know you, and then suddenly it just became too much and she got freaked out and she doesn't know why. And so that's a thing that women oftentimes can't really verbalize or explain to a guy because they themselves don't know it. So what do they do instead? They'll say, okay, well, if I don't want to go through that process of a guy, trying to take up too much of my time early on, trying to compliment me too much, trying to do all these excessive things early on, then I need to preemptively stop that from happening. And so what can I possibly do to make that happen? And the best idea that they've come up with so far is, I know what, I'll say on my dating profile that I'm looking for something casual and I'm looking to build a friendship first. But what they actually mean is when they're going with a guy, they don't want a guy that's going from first date to relationship in a span of like 1 or 2 dates. They want a guy that's going to be able to naturally build. They want a guy that's going to take this dating thing casually, meaning he's not going to try to push her into a relationship, but he's going to just go with the flow. He's going to take her on a date, show her a good time, and then go the freak away. He'll come back, ask her for another date, and maybe 4 or 5 days later, take her out again, take her out with like 2 or 3 hours at a time, maybe have a good hookup, and then He'll go home. He won't be texting all the time. He won't be overburdening her with compliments and gifts and flowers and a plethora of other things that I actually wrote about in my book, No Girls For You, The Ultimate Guide to Losing the Girl of Your Dreams, which you can get at my website. But the point is, she's looking at this as if, okay, you know what? I need to get to know the guy. And since these guys, if I don't put the word friendship out there, then this guy's going to just assume after 2 dates, I want a relationship. And while I'm hoping to get there, I'm really hoping to build a connection that's a bit stronger than just 1 or 2 dates. So now I got to throw in the friendship thing because I'm going to hope that he'll get that. I want to actually get to know him and be friendly with him enough to where I can feel comfortable to them making this a relationship. Because even like one of the profiles on here says, I'm looking for friendship and also relationship. So what does that mean? What she's actually saying is, look, guy, if this goes well with you, I will say to you, I want to make this a relationship, but I can't be forced into it. So in the between time between our first date and when I consider this, I feel good enough to make this a relationship, that in between, I don't know what to call that. So the best thing I can call it is a friendship. So we're being friendly with each other, but we're not doing friendship-like things. Meaning, like, she's not sleeping with her friends, quote unquote, right? So if you go on 3 or 4 dates and she starts sleeping with you, then that's an indication, a strong indication that she's liking you enough to start building this towards something stronger than a friendship, but she's not ready to call it a relationship yet. So she's still thinking, I guess that means I got to call him my friend. I'm going to go see my friend. We're going to be a friendship. But that should not scare you into thinking that she's only looking to get a friendship out of you. What she's looking for is time. She's looking for the 2 to 3 months that she needs to not call this a relationship so she can see if she wants to turn it into a relationship. And because she has no other words for what that period of time is called, she just knows to call it a friendship and hope that you know what it means. Now, most guys do not know what it means because we are very literal. When we hear friendship, again, we think of all the women that wouldn't date us in the past that were claiming to just want to be friends with us. And so for most men, hearing a woman say, I just want to build a friendship first is very triggering and it's very dismissing. But what you got to realize is, understand, if a woman is on a dating app, then more likely than not, she's on a dating app to have somebody that she can find to date and lead to a relationship. Very rarely are women legitimately on dating apps looking for friendships. There's like a small percentage that is, and those percentages, they shouldn't be on there. But for the majority of women that are on there saying, I'm looking for friendship first, I'm looking for a casual connection, all that's code for is, I want a guy who I can spend time with for 2 to 3 months until I make it a relationship. And during that time, he's not calling it a relationship, or he's not doing relationship-like things. He's not trying to, lock me down right away. And I think men get tripped up because they're thinking that women, when they're on these dating apps, it must mean that they want a relationship as soon as possible. And that's not what that means. A dating app for a woman is a chance for her to hopefully find a decent enough guy to be able to spend time with and have fun with. And if all goes well, it will lead to a relationship, okay? But you cannot cut that dynamic off by thinking that she actually wants a friendship, nor can you cut it off by going on a couple of dates and trying to call it a relationship, okay? So the next time you see that on a woman's profile, do not be scared, okay? Because that is very much womanese. It's telling you, hey, I need time. If we have a good time on a first date, I need time beyond just 1 or 2 dates to see if I want to make this a thing. So hopefully you'll be along for the journey of that. But in the meantime, I don't know what else to call it, so I'm going to call it a friendship. Don't be scared by that, though. It does not actually mean she wants to build a friendship with you. It simply means she doesn't know what else to call that period of time. But I can guarantee you, if you are going on dates with her, if you're patient, if she's sleeping with you, if she's talking about you in the future tense, all those things are great. What do I tell you guys? Until a woman comes to you and starts asking those questions like, hey, what are we? So is this going to be something beyond what we're doing right now? Yada, yada, yada. Then just assume that you're in that weird zone that she's calling a friendship, but isn't actually a friendship. If nothing else, it's just a building time towards what's going to eventually be a relationship. If you're patient enough to not try to rush her into one, and if you're not scared off by her profile saying she wants to build a friendship first. So hopefully this helps you decipher the womanese. And if you need more womanese translated, do me a favor. In the comments down below, write down some things you've heard women say that you don't understand, and I'll be happy to help you decipher it on one of these upcoming shows. As well as if you have any other questions you want to ask me leave them in the comments down below or write to me at HarryWilmington@gmail.com. All right? Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you like what you see and you want to support the show, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're now over 1,000 subscribers, so that's freaking awesome. And also, you can go to the website, introvertdatingsuccess.com, click on the tip jar tab, and leave a monetary thank you, or go to one of the links in the description down below as well. All right? Be sure to go to the website to get more eBooks, audiobooks, and programs, all designed to help you date as your introverted self while still getting your precious alone time. I'm Harry Wilmington, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode. I'm out. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Introvert Dating Success Podcast. Visit us at introvertdatingsuccess.com for more great tips on attracting women using your natural introvert charm. Oh, yeah.